Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my Japan Travel Diary series and the last day of the 3-day trip to Fukuoka. So if you've been following along on this little travel diary series, you might know from the previous episode that my wife and I went out with a bunch of her friends the night before. So I did end up drinking quite a bit that night and we didn't get back to the hotel room until 4 a.m. And then I had to get up at 8 a.m. to have a shower to get ready to check out of the hotel because obviously this is our last day in Fukuoka. So I was operating on very little sleep, but it was a really amazing day. We went to some great places. So after we finished checking out of the hotel, we went to meet up with another one of my wife's friends. So for this day, we ended up deciding to explore the coastal region of Fukuoka. So our first stop of the day was this little restaurant called Uoshō, which had such an amazing view. For breakfast, we ended up having sushi, and it was just so big and fresh. This here was actually a very similar view from what you could see from the inside from the tatami room that we ate in. I did forget to film the view from the inside while eating because I, again, was just so tired on this day after only 4 hours sleep after a night out. Yeah, definitely wasn't a good choice. My bad. I was actually really surprised to see just how nice the Fukuoka coastline is. I haven't really seen too many nice beaches like this in Japan, or palm trees for that matter. The whole area seemed like a mix between Japan and Hawaii. It was much more tropical than I expected. After breakfast, we ended up heading further down the coast to see the Sakurai Futamigaura Torii and cobblestones in the small seaside town of Itoshima west of Fukuoka. The cobblestones are connected by a sacred rope symbolizing happy marriage. The stones are kind of framed by this white torii gate. They also hold a Shinto religious significance. They're said to represent Izanagi and Izanami, who are the central deities who are said to have created the islands of Japan, along with many other Japanese deities. After visiting the cobblestones, we ended up heading further down the coast and stopping off for coffee at this small cafe called Thalia Coffee Roasters, which was on the way to our next stop further west up the coast. It was a really nice little cafe which also had kind of like a souvenir shop that had a lot of kind of Hawaii-inspired sort of souvenirs there, like they were all kind of surfer themed. Everything there kind of reminded me of Hawaii, which kind of makes sense with the whole sort of tropical atmosphere of the area. After stopping off for coffee, we headed down the coast further to go to our next stop, which was actually to go on a short hike. So we came out here to see Itoshima's Totoro Forest. On the way up to the entrance of the forest, we walked through this really small torii gate to check out the view. We also met this really cute stray cat. I wish I wasn't so tired on this day and I filmed the cat a little bit more because it was really cute. It was just walking around up to everybody just to try and get pats. It was really, really friendly. It was really unexpected to see a stray cat that was quite friendly, especially when my cat at home is kind of an ass. After spending a bit more time with the cat, we started making our way into the Totoro Forest. It was so windy coming off the coast, and I unfortunately forgot to bring my mic wind muff. The forest walk itself was really nice and relaxing. There wasn't too many people here either, which was really nice. The air out here was so fresh, and walking through here really did kind of remind me of the forest from Totoro. Midway through, there was this little viewing point, which offered such a good view of the area. After taking in the view, we continued through the forest, which eventually took us out to the other side of the coast. this whole area was just so peaceful. Up in the mountains, you could even see a little white torii gate up there. I didn't actually know this at the time, but on the other side of this big mountain is actually a sea cave sort of thing. And there's actually tour boats that can take you through there. Walking along the coastline eventually brought us back to the parking lot. Once we got back to the car, we started making our way back up the coast to the area where we saw the couple stones. We wanted to stop off at this shop called SURFERS MARKET. This was another little souvenir shop that had a very Hawaiian sort of theme to it as well. We did pick up a couple of souvenirs, but we mainly came to get some gelato and enjoy the view of the beach, because we weren't too far off having to head back to Fukuoka Airport. So we had a late afternoon flight from Fukuoka Airport back to Narita. From there, we ended up taking the train from Narita Airport back to Yokohama. And at that point, it was getting quite late, and I, for obvious reasons, was extremely tired, so we called it a night. So for the next couple of days in Yokohama, we didn't actually end up doing too much, kind of just relaxing with family and maybe doing a little bit of shopping. Nothing I ended up filming. So I didn't end up filming again until after we drove from Yokohama back to Fukui. We ended up going on a bit of a day trip when we got back to Fukui, and we went to a lot of really incredible places that I cannot wait to show you. So yeah, I hope you all look forward to that, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.